Hello, bit of Sexstock here, Alex here. Welcome to another Yu-Gi-Oh video. Today we're going to be looking at 10 more spell cards which are limited to 1 and the reasons behind each. Let's go. Limited removal, in case you don't know what this card does, it doubles the attack of all machine type monsters that you controlled at both the activation and resolution of this card until the end of turn, essentially doubling all the attack of your monsters on the field. If you had more than one of these in your deck, you could use 3 of these and essentially times your, what would it be, doubled and then doubled again. So if you got something that's got, what did I say, 3,000 attack, it would end up having 24,000 attack. Ridiculous and a good card to be limited to 1. Mind Control. You can target one monster your opponent controls until the end phase, take control of that creature, but it cannot declare an attack or tributed. So this card does not state that it can't be used as an XZ material or a synchro monster material. So you could steal one of your opponent's, say, tuna monsters, use it in a synchro summon and get out one of your really powerful monsters. Alternatively, just steal your opponent's really powerful monster and attack them and kill them with it. Monster Gate. Not only is this a really easy way to get out a different monster, it's also a really good way in order to excavate cards from your deck, which is quite useful in some decks. Because if you don't know what this does, you can treat one monster and excavate cards on top of your deck until you excavate a monster that can be normal or special summon it and send all the other cards to the graveyard. So say if you've got a really weak monster on the field and you know from, I don't know, counting your own deck for example, you now know that the rest of the cards are pretty powerful, you can use this in order to tribute a weaker monster and get that more powerful monster out onto the field much more easily. 1 Day of Peace. Now, because you don't know what this card does, each player draws 1 card and neither player takes battle damage to the end of your opponent's next turn. So, honestly, probably one of the reasons that this card is limited to 1, being that this is an easy 3+1, just use this card and +1 to your hand, and also it means you can also take no damage. So you activate this once, and then say you've got 2 or 3 in your deck, activate it again and again, just delays the game and can really give you time to be able to get out your more powerful cards and potentially make a comeback. 1 for 1. So you can send 1 monster from your hand to the graveyard, special summon 1 level 1 monster from your hand or deck. So if you've got a card in your graveyard which you that you really don't need, or that if you discard it can be special summoned or special summoned from the graveyard in another way, you can use this card to send that monster to the graveyard to get out, say, a level 1 tuner or something similar, or for Cosmo's Team Can, to the field and then be able to use it to either single summon or use its effect, as I said, while being able to potentially special summon the one from the graveyard back to the field. Essentially, this is maybe a possible way to get 2 monsters to field in 1 turn, possibly 3, you never know. Pantheism of the Monarchs. There is literally no drawback to this card whatsoever, hence why one of the reasons why it's limited. The other reason is it is a very easy +2 for the Monarch deck, and actually a +3 because you can banish it from the graveyard as well in order to get another +1. So just to explain, you can send 1 Monarch spell attack card from your hand to the graveyard in order to draw 2 cards. Just draw 2 cards. And you can banish this card from your graveyard to reveal 3 Monarch spell attack cards from your deck, and your opponent chooses 1 and to add to your hand, and you can shuffle the rest back into your deck. So essentially now this has been limited to 1, you can't just seek another one of these out and get loads and loads of +2s to power your hand up. Pendulum Call. This is another super powerful card. So you can discard 1 card, add 2 Magician Pendulum monsters with different names from your deck to your hand. Also, until the end of your opponent's next turn, after this card resolves, Magician cards in your Pendulum zones cannot be destroyed by card effects. So you can not only add 2 Magician monsters with, say, one a Pendulum scale of 1 and 1 of 9, and be able to summon a super powerful monster from your hand to the field. The Pendulum cards in their zones can't even be destroyed during your opponent's next turn. Ridiculously powerful. Preparation of Rice. This one is pretty obvious why this is limited to 1. Add 1 level 7 or lower ritual monster from your deck to your hand, and add 1 ritual spell card from your graveyard to your hand. So essentially, if you've got the spell card for a ritual monster in your graveyard and the monster in your hand, you can use this to get, say, a different monster for another ritual card you may have in your hand, and then get the original spell card back from the graveyard in order to just summon the Shiznik out of those cards. And alternative, of course, if you don't have either, you can get a monster from your deck and the ritual card required from the graveyard, if it is in there. Can do so much shenanigans with this, hence why it's limited to 1, because if it was at 3, there would be so much trouble for ritual decks. Raigeki. So do I really need to explain this card? But I will anyway. Destroy all monsters your opponent controls. It's just that it clears the opponent's side of the field, well, all monsters anyway. Just clears the field and resets them back to the start. which is going to really annoy them and not only set you up for numerous plays, but just, like I say, resets the board for them, so to start all over again and can potentially win you the duel. This needs to stay at 1 forever. Reasoning. Now, if you don't know what this card does, your opponent declares a monster level. Reveal cards from the top of your deck until you reveal a monster that can be normal summoned. If that monster is the same level as the one declared by your opponent, send all revealed cards to the graveyard. And if it isn't, then special summon that revealed monster, but send the other cards to the graveyard. Insane. Especially if you use it in the deck that I personally like, which is the Cosmo one, so your opponent can declare a level as long as you are not know what you are playing, because they could possibly guess the level if they do. And you essentially got a V+1 to the field. And it could be potentially a really powerful one as well, unless you get Dark Planet, because that can't be special summoned. But apart from that, if you get anything else, really powerful card, and of course for probably every single deck this card is useful. Okay, so that's it for this video. So if you enjoyed, don't forget to punch the like button, leave a comment down below, of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. Also most, follow me on Twitter, link down below as always. So last for the say, thank you so much for watching. I've been Next Dark Curious, so see you in the next Yu-Gi-Oh video.